What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king. Welcome back to more Let's Play Subnautica. In the last episode, we explored a couple of new biomes, the Mushroom Forest and the Sparse Reef, and we went on a search for Officer Keen, who gave us some rendezvous coordinates to get to some dry land, which is apparently off in that direction. So we're going to be heading out there in this episode. We are saving the trip to the Aurora for probably the next episode, actually, but we are at least going to get the last of the stuff we need for that trip in this episode. In fact, we're going to do that right now. So let's make the last two tools that I wanted to make for this, particularly the laser cutter and the propulsion cannon. Between episodes, expanded things out a little bit more. I made T-shaped compartments for over here because we're going to be adding some rooms to them later, but I was able to add more lockers, stuff for like lithium and diamonds and things like that, of which I actually need 2 of those. We also do need some cave sulfur, which I only have 1 at the moment. I might need to go get more of that later, although you don't use cave sulfur that much in the game. There's also titanium and then a wiring kit, which I might not actually be able to make a wiring kit right now because I think I'm all out of silver at the moment. No, I got exactly 2. Okay, we're fine. So let's do that. Head on in here and make the wiring kit really quickly. And then, did I only grab 1 titanium? I probably should have grabbed 2, but we're going to make the laser cutter first. And yeah, well, let's go get that last titanium. Probably should have grabbed 2. Oops! And we'll make ourselves the propulsion cannon. Now, the only thing about the propulsion cannon I don't like is that this thing isn't... It takes up a lot of space in your inventory. Let's just say that. Like, if you take a look, it takes up 4 slots instead of 1, like all of the other tools, which it can be a little bit annoying. Also, I do need to make more batteries. I probably should put this dead one away so that we don't mess with it. Why don't I, just for the sake of what we're going to be doing when we get to dry land, I'm going to make 2 more batteries, so then we'll have a total of 3. You don't need batteries if you're going to the Aurora. Just trust me on that. You really, really don't. You just need to make sure that your tools themselves are all charged up and stocked before you head out. All right, and before we head out, let's listen to this last radio message that just came in the last episode.
Aurora, this is Sunbeam again. We just picked up a massive debris field at your location. I didn't know how many of you... I didn't know. We're now en route to your location. We're gonna bring you home. Sunbeam out.
Yay, that's great news.
The only time I parked a rig this big on a rock that small was in VR. And I blew it. It's a bad option, all right, but so are all the others.
Well, maybe we'll be okay. I don't know. He might not be that great of a pilot, but we can't worry about that too much. All right, let's get into our Seamoth, and we're going to be heading out towards the rendezvous point on dry land. Now, we do need to be careful when we're doing this. The rendezvous point itself is, for the most part, sort of safe, but there are things to be on the lookout for as we get close to it. So what we're going to do, we're going to head all the way out there. And it's funny because once we get close to it, also, wow, another radio transmission like the second we leave. That's just crazy. You got to be careful, though, because there's just some things that can pop in as you go. So that's another thing I wanted to kind of add to the conversation in regards to how well all of the versions of Subnautica play. On PS4, Xbox One, and Switch, you really got to be careful when just forging ahead in your Seamoth, because pop-in is already an issue in this version. It's really bad in those versions. And if you're not careful, it's incredibly easy to get your Seamoth hurt by running into objects you literally can't see if you move too fast. So that is something to be aware of. But I think we should be fine here. You can see everything. You're going to know when we're there as soon as you start to see a lot of glowy things. It's actually pretty obvious, and we're just kind of forging ahead in the dark, which you might think is terrifying. That's because it is. But don't worry, this is, for the most part, pretty safe. So what we're going to want to do, I know we have a radio transmission. We're going to want to go underneath this giant landmass and pop up right here. And this is where we're going to park our Seamoth. Don't park it on the land. You will get it stuck, and it's very easy to make it fall through the map. So just leave it right there, and let's take a look at this PDA. Because I don't know if it's obvious, but we're actually here. We're on land. I really wish I had done this in the middle of the day. Okay, you know what? That's fine. We're going to listen to this voice log anyway. Multiple energy signatures. Uh-oh.
We have to board the Aurora, repair the long-range comms, make contact with the other survivors. We can't be the only two that made it.
Those are not the orders the captain gave me, and they are not the orders I'm giving you.
This isn't chain of command, it's survival.
My obligations as acting commander don't turn on their convenience. Get out of the water.
If I get into trouble, I'll send you my coordinates.
I can't let you go alone.
Then come with me.
You don't leave me much choice.
Received emergency transmission from Second Officer Keen, 2 hours after last activity.
Rendezvous was a failure. Intercepted a transmission from Altera HQ. Seems they sent a data package to the Aurora. We were intercepted by a Leviathan-class Predator before we could reach the ship. Consider the CTO and I lost at sea. Be safe. Keen, out.
Oh. Well, that's unfortunate. So, yeah, everyone really is dead. Great. Well, welcome to dry land, everybody. Welcome to the island. This is known as the floating island. Because, well, it is literally being held up by some floaters. Now, the floating island is a very interesting place for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of things that we can scan here, a lot of flora and fauna on this island that we can take advantage of, should we so desire. And there's even a bunch of cool little things that we can scan while we're here. The only downside is there are a couple of baddies on this island that I am going to keep my propulsion cannon out for the ready at. Whenever they decide to lunge at me. Now, they're not super deadly. It's not like anything's going to jump out and kill you instantly, but they do chip away at your health, which can be a little bit annoying. And honestly, I probably should have brought... No, I guess I do have 2 first aid kits, so I guess we're good. All right. So, oh, crap. I did not bring near enough water and food, did I? Well, you know what? I think we might be fine. Probably should have done that. If we get into a really bad situation, I can abandon ship and book it back to base in time, and then come back here and just kind of cut all that out, because that is my bad for doing that. There's a bunch of things we can scan, and if we want to, we could get this stuff. I am not personally going to, though, because that is not what I am interested in. All right, so I'm going to head down here. Oh, and you can see them floating, running around. So these little guys right here. You can grab them with the propulsion cannon and just launch them to get rid of them. It's the crab... guy Yeeter 5000. There they go. Yep, please try to attack me. And goodbye. They're called cave crawlers, by the way. But we're going to head on through here, keeping our propulsion cannon at the ready, and just kind of make our way around the island. Now, I said before that this game controls magnificently in the water for a video game. But the funny thing is that the trade-off is that the game controls pretty terribly when you're out of water. You walk around kind of funny. Granted, you don't move too slowly, so that's good at least, but it's definitely not designed for walking around. Swimming is the main mode of transportation in this. Okay, so I'm going to grab a couple of these. These are going to be my sustenance while we're here on the island. So we got some lantern fruits. Take a couple of those, and I do think that these actually refill my H2O a little bit, which is good. So we can do that, although those don't do quite as good a job at that as this does right here, marble melons. And I'm going to grab a few of those. We're also going to scan this grow bed, excuse me. Also Chinese potato. Hello there. No, I don't want that. I don't want that. Gosh dang it. I don't want that. I want the... Where did the little guy go? It's around here somewhere. Hello? I know they're around here. They do like to... scurry all over the place. There you are. Come here. And goodbye. Look at that. You just sent them flying. I think that one actually vanished out of thin air. It went too far. Oh, gosh. No. What the? Stop it. Come here. Hey. Where did he go? He lunged so far, he went, like, over the mountain. That was weird. Okay, well, anyway, I'm going to eat... Okay, marble melon is really good at refilling your H2O. But I don't want to eat too much of that because I would actually like to save that for myself. That's not to say, though, that it's absolutely necessary that I do... You son of a gun. It's not to say that it's absolutely necessary that I do, just because this game almost gives you too many options when it comes to food and water. And, oh my gosh, do I have to keep resetting this? When I play through this game, I typically get all of my water and food just from the fish and the stuff outside my pod. I don't really typically worry about growing things, which is something that you can do in this game, and we will worry about that later. But as of right now, I'm not super interested. Degassi voice logs. Paul Torgel's log. What are all these? We're going to have to listen to these. We'll definitely go through them as we go through the island more, but for right now, I think I'll hold off. Nothing up here, really. Interesting. What do we got in here? What is this? Stasis rifle fragment. Okay. Definitely going to want to grab that. What else we got? What the? Oh, multi-purpose room. Okay. This is going to be a really nice addition for our base once we start building these. Because we'll be able to put some interesting things in these. We got the abandoned PDA. And then, what the heck? Purple tablet. Okay. I don't know what this does, but we'll take it. All right. Grab a couple more Chinese potatoes. Can I eat a couple of these? Yeah, I'm going to do that just to make sure I'm all full on everything. All right. Yeah, we'll keep one. I'll keep one Chinese potato and one marble melon on hand. It's an old one, apparently, so I'll grab that. Thank you. I have to use those later on. Is there anything else around here that is worth getting? Any other boxes or crates or containers? Anything over here? What about in this thing? Nope, this kind of all just leads to the same stuff. What about up this way? Anything at all? Doesn't really look like it. I think we've kind of seen our fill over here. Oh, what? Oh, no, that's just part of the multi-purpose room. Thought that was something else. Okay, well, let's continue. We're going to head down this way now. And along this path. And this is going to take us up through here, where we're actually going to run into another PDA on the ground over here.
Location uploaded to PDA.
Okay, we apparently got a location in our PDA, which is interesting. Worry about that a little bit later. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to head up. I want to, as you can see up there, we actually have another building of some sorts up there, and we just need to be able to get up to it, which is a little easier said than done. But just keep looking around, seeing if there's anything of value as we follow this path a bit further. Just not going to pay any attention to the new location that was added, because we want to learn about these people and what all these locations are about a little bit later. We're going to get some lore about what's going on this island, because obviously these structures were not built by Officer Keene and CTOU. So up here we go. What we got up here? Nothing still? Speckled rattlers. Okay, well, we will scan that. Cool. More indigenous stuff that we can use to craft different things. And then, ooh, here we go. Now this is promising. So we got another marble melon and another Chinese potato. And then can I actually do anything with those? No, I can't. Okay, we have the observatory here though, so we'll scan that so we can add it to our list of things that we can build with the habitat builder. It's a while. There we go. Another PDA. Degassi voice log number 1. Okay, so that's pretty much all the voice logs we need, except look on the other side of the island. There is another one of these, so we're going to have to head over that way. I'm going to scan the spotlight, though, before we leave. This is another thing we can build. Spotlights are somewhat useful, not super useful. They don't point in one singular direction at all times. They just kind of scan the area with light, and they also do consume quite a bit of power. So I will probably not be adding one of those to my base, but we need to figure out how to get over to that one now. So let's do that. I'm going to actually scale down this way, slowly but surely. And you have to be careful because you take fall damage very easily in this game when you're out of the water. Obviously, you can't have fall damage when you're in the water. But yeah, all you have to do is kind of fall like 5 or 6 feet, and you will take a little bit of damage. It's kind of ridiculous. And 5 or 6 feet might not seem like 5 or 6 feet in this game because perspective can be a little weird. Trust me, this game does have a lot of perspective issues. If you ever... I guess it's not even perspective. It's a sense of scale. You seem like abnormally large compared to a lot of things in this game. But if you ever played this game in VR, which if you have the opportunity to do that, I highly recommend doing it. It's actually amazing. But if you ever play this game in VR, you will notice that everything is suddenly about 3 times bigger than it normally looks when you're playing the game outside of VR. So, something to keep in mind. It's not too bad, I don't think, but it can be a little bit distracting at times when you're actually used to this sort of scale, the level of scale of most things. Okay, this is not the way I'm supposed to be going. It's really, this one is always way confusing to get up to, and I always forget the exact path of making my way up to it. Maybe I'm going on the wrong side. Hold on. Let's see. I'm going to actually have a look over here. I don't think we have any more cave crawlers to deal with, so we should be all right. Maybe, yep, I think I have to actually go on this side. I always get this part mixed up. Traversing this island is a little bit confusing, okay? Because again, you're not really, in this game, ironically, you're not supposed to really walk around on land all that much. But we're going to be doing a lot of that between this episode and the next. Trust me. Alright, so it looks like, actually I should go this way. Looks like if I go over here and kind of follow this path over this way, I can make my way up this direction. Here we go. Okay, I might be able to get up all of this. It's going to be a little bit tricky, though. Oh, here we go. Yep, there is a path. Don't know where that began at, but we'll just kind of follow it. Definitely the more complicated path of the two, especially because you get stuck on the terrain a lot. Come on. There we go. It's a good thing they gave you a jump button. All right, and here we are. Let's take a look. We got a supply crate with some more water. I'm going to have a drink of that. Thank you. And an indoor grow bed. Cool. With some more lantern fruit on it. Awesome. Also, we got fern palm. Let's do that. We're going to have to take all this stuff back to our base. And we'll be putting it to use. And then we got ourselves a PDA. Okay, really quickly.
New PDA data.
I'm going to take all of that, and what we're going to do is instead of listening to Bart Torgle's logs, we're going to listen to or Paul Torgle's logs or any of that stuff. We're going to listen to the Degassi voice logs. I guess we'll listen to the first of Paul Torgle's logs, but let's do this one first.
This island is a godsend. Look out of the window. No predators, fresh food.
No building materials, nothing left of the ship, and your kid says we're gonna starve without more grow beds. Speak up, kid.
It's true, Father. The natural growth rates are too slow to keep supporting us.
All I'm saying is ocean's got us surrounded. No use hiding. Sooner or later, we'll get our feet wet.
The rest of your life may have been a fight, Maida, but I've made my decision. You want to forfeit your emergency pay to take a swim? Go ahead.
Believe me, I'm thinking on it.
Son, I said wait for the storm to pass. Your life's more valuable to me than a plant patch.
You stopped being in charge when the ship you were captaining sunk.
I'll stop being in charge when you take charge of yourself.
Say, Chief. Chief,
What?
do you know how to drain those grow beds of 40 tons of storm water? Or how to conjure food from the air?
I know how to prioritize.
I'm just saying, if that's so, what's your boy's life worth to you today? If tomorrow you're gonna be so hungry you start wondering what he tastes like, let him go deal with the plants.
Son, go deal with the plants.
Bart, Torgal has disembarked the habitat.
Interfere with my family again, and when rescue arrives, I will leave you here. Do you understand me?
No rescue coming, Chief. Not in time. And no staying here neither. This rain keeps falling, sooner or later this place will be buried. Only choice we got is whether to get buried with it. You see, Chief, you brought us to this sodden planet. Told us we'd see a lush payday. Now what do we got some 6 weeks later? A dead crew, a habitat that's half buried, food washed away.
I suppose the executive decisions would be better left to someone with your extensive experience of hitting people in the face.
I know enough not to take unscheduled detours to uncharted planets. That's something you don't want to learn the hard way.
Easy to judge a decision in hindsight. Harder to come up with a plan of your own.
Got one already. We take what we can carry and hunker down in a cave somewhere. I scouted a site, a couple 100 meters deep, lots of metal deposits.
How do you imagine we'd live?
With ready access to building materials, like damn queens, a couple of water filters, a bioreactor, fresh fish. But Chief, we'll eat seaweed salad and drink our own urine if that's what it takes. All that matters is, do you got something better?
Send the coordinates to my PDA. I'll review your proposal. What is that thing?
I don't know. I found it outside in the sand.
Part of another ship?
None I've ever seen.
It's not even scratched.
Don't fool around with it. It might be worth something.
Stand down, Chief. If it were gonna crumble to dust, it would have done so when I picked it up.
It's glowing.
We're not the first people to come to this planet.
People. Maybe. Could be aliens. Could be the damn sea monsters for all we know. One thing for sure, we ain't gonna find out by staying here.
Okay, so pretty obvious about all the things that happened. This is the log that takes us to where we're going to go next, find out where the Degasi people went next. But this was, number 4, was in reference to the tablet that we found. Now, last thing, we're going to listen to Paul Torgle's log, which actually, I think, takes place before voice log 2, but after voice log 1. And this is just from Paul Torgle's perspective.
Chief's log, 5 weeks since the crash. The only other survivors are my son, Bart, and Maida, the cut-price mercenary I commissioned for the journey. After days drifting in the life pod, rain hammering on the roof, the weather cleared and we washed up here. I had Maida salvage the Degasi wreck, set Bart to finding us a stable source of food. His education is paying off sooner than I'd anticipated. Our only problem is Maida. She says the weather's going to turn. I say she's finding excuses to risk our lives. I imagine she's not going to weaken her life without a physical altercation, and she's itching for a fight. In every judgment she makes, things go from bad to worse. If she had my experience, she'd have more faith. Humans have spent millennia specializing in how to shackle nature to our will. This planet won't cause us any new problems. My one task now is to keep us alive, as comfortably as possible, until the insurance company arranges rescue. In this part of space, that could be months, or even years.
Well, I don't think they're here anymore, so we're going to have to worry about their next spot, which that's proposed Degasi habitat at 250 meters deep, which means that it is too deep for me to take my sea moth all the way down that way, so we are not going to be heading down there just yet. We are going to be venturing to the Aurora next, and we're going to be doing that in the next episode. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so very much for watching this episode of Let's Play Subnautica. Hold on, I'm going to take a jump here. Probably a stupid thing to do, but I'm doing it anyway. I don't even care. I hope you all enjoyed this episode very, very much. And I will see you all in the next one, where we are going to begin our preparations to head to the Aurora. See you all then.